Hey guys, welcome back. I've just made my way back to the Skyhold from our little adventure there in the Oasis, and my plan was to come back and speak to Cullen again regarding Blackwall, aka Rainier. But I was mistaken, I think, of what was required for me from this quest. So I went to the quest, it's called Revelations, and I actually need to go to the war table, I think, and order the advisors to find a way to release him from prison. Which I want to do. There's no point in letting him just rot in there. So we're gonna head now to the war table. We can see if they're done any of their quests from earlier, and then I'll try to get them to get Blackwall out of prison. So, first of all, this is the quest for Josephine, to find a sponsor for the Du Paraquets. We have an update. Letter to Countess Dion. My dearest Lynette, I was injured on the way back from the Conclave when the insane war erupted between the Apostates and the Templars. I made it to a decrepit inn just before the gash on my leg turned into a fever. Fortunately, when the Inquisition's people found me, they sent for a proper healer. I owe them my life, I'm certain. I'm told the Inquisition will deliver this letter to you, which is the first peace of mind I've had since the Conclave. Stay in the capital, my love, until I can come to you. Yours always, Ellerly. So, now that we have found her lover, we should have some support there, so that's good. We also have a report here, support from Navarra, a letter delivered to Skyhold. It was a pleasure meeting with your representatives. We are happy to lend the Inquisition our support. From Tyrion Benito on behalf of Her Grace, Duchess Amalia. Love to see it. Can never have too many allies.
Have you heard anything? Not yet. I'll let you know as soon as I do.
Now, I'm looking around. I figured the operation would be somewhere here around Valvorio, but I don't actually see it, so... Oh, I found it. It was this little pyramid here. That's why I kept mistaking it. So here we go. Tom Rainier's fate. If you think it worthwhile, we can have Tom Rainier, previously known to us as Blackwall, released from the Valvorio prison in which he awaits justice. Keep in mind, Inquisitor, that he is wanted in Orlais for the massacre which claimed the lives of Lord Vincent Callier, general and staunch ally of Celine, and all of Callier's family. I leave this in your hands, says Cullen. Okay, so we have different options. I know Liliana suggested previously that we kind of sneak him out of there. Here, her suggestion is we find someone who looks similar to him and swap him in. I don't really like that. We can storm the prison with a small force. Definitely don't like that. I think the best situation here is using connections. Josephine says, I can request a special dispensation from the Orlesian throne, allowing Tom Rainier to be transferred to Inquisition custody. This may anger some, but after Halam Sharal, they owe us a favor. Alright, I'll leave it to you to call in your favors. I think that's the best way to go about this. The dispensation came, few questions asked. What passed in Halam Sharal is fresh in their minds. Rainier awaits your judgment. Alright. So, presumably, that means we can go back to the throne and pass judgment on him.
For judgment this day, Inquisitor, I must present Captain Tom Rainier, formerly known to us as Warden Blackwall. His crimes... well, you are aware of his crimes. It was no small expense to bring him here, but the decision of what to do with him is now yours.
I hate to see you like this.
I didn't think this would be easy, but it's harder than I thought.
Another thing to regret. What did you have to do to release me?
Josephine called in a few favors. There are enough people out there who owe the Inquisition.
And what happens to the reputation the Ambassador has so carefully cultivated? The world will learn how you've used your influence. They'll know the Inquisition is corrupt.
Corrupt? I mean, we brought you here to pass our own judgment. We might still execute you yet. I don't think it's corruption to request one prisoner be transferred to another. Your opinion doesn't matter. You're wrong.
Your opinions will no longer be considered. You've lost that privilege. I decide what becomes of you now.
And what becomes of me?
So we have 3 options here. 1, we can kind of take him into slavery, I guess. Keep him in servitude. I don't like that. 2, trying to hover over them. We free him to make amends for his crimes. Or 3, the wardens decide. I think... This one is definitely out. I'm between 1 and a 3. I'm leaning most towards 1 because it is quite clear that he is regretful for what he did. He willingly turned himself in. And before that, he was willing to give his life to the Grey Wardens to basically atone for what he did. So he's already been on the path of atonement. And while it might be interesting to let the Wardens decide, he didn't actually kill. He says he did, but he didn't actually kill the Grey Warden Blackwall. That's a bit of a misnomer. I like Blackwall. I think he's a good guy who's regretful of his past and wants to move forward. So I'm gonna say you're free if you atone.
You have your freedom.
It cannot be as simple as that.
It isn't. You're free to atone as the man you are, not the traitor you thought you were or the warden you pretended to be.
The man I am. I barely know him. But I have a lot to make up for. If my future is mine, then I pledge it to the Inquisition. My sword is yours. If I'd said anything less, would an arrow from the rookery have snuffed me like a candle?
Take your pose, Tom Rainier.
Alright, there we go. We've decided the fate of Blackwall, or I guess Tom now. We're gonna have to go speak to him and see what he would prefer us call him. That was certainly an interesting quest. I can't believe he was a fake Grey Warden this whole time. It was like there was some truth. He was going to become a Grey Warden. He was halfway there. But clearly there was a lot that he left out, so... Let's go speak with him. We have a lot to unpack, and I would like to know how to address him. It appears he still goes by Blackwall when you just hover over his character here, but let's see what he has to say.
Inquisitor?
What do I call you now?
How shall I refer to you? Rainier or Blackwall?
I've gotten used to Blackwall. Perhaps we could treat it as less of a name and more of a title. Almost like Inquisitor. Reminds me of what I ought to be.
That sounds like a happy medium. Your choice.
Doesn't matter to me.
Thank you.
Alright. Well, that's actually all we can talk to him about right now.
Perhaps in a bit.
At least we've got that straightened away. So there you have it. Blackwall is back with us. Going to start living a new life, not a fake warden life. And, yeah, again, I'm still can't believe everything that happened. Because, like, I brought him along on the Grey Warden questline and everything, thinking he would have knowledge of the Grey Wardens. And, like, he still kind of did, but not to the point that we, you know... He never actually lived as a Grey Warden, except when he started to pretending to be one, so... It's all very, very interesting, is the TLDR. Now... I want to check in with Bull, because it's been a minute, and I want to know if anything's going on with him.
How can I help?
Let's talk about us.
I'd like to talk about you and me.
Sure, boss. What's up?
Let's give him a little kiss.
Do you have some free time?
For you. Always.
Oh! Well then. I'm not gonna lie, when I picked the option give him a kiss, I thought it would be like a sweet peck, but looks like we went behind the tavern, and I got a little booty slap at the end, so we can kind of infer what happened back there. Our relationship is a little weird. I don't know how serious it is right now, but that's fine. It's all good. Alright, so after we completed that operation for Josephine, we now need to actually go speak to Countess Dion in Val Royeaux, now that we have saved her lover, so we can officially ask for that favor and continue along with Josephine's plan. So, well, actually, we don't even need to go to the war table to do that. We can just teleport straight to Val Royeaux.
Good morrow, Valroyo.
Inquisitor, what an unexpected pleasure. You must have had a long journey to the city. Might there be any news from this house?
Your lover is safe.
Here's a letter from Ellerly. He's safe with his family in the Dales.
Oh, my Ellerly. Oh, bless you. The Dions will sponsor the Duparakets as a family deserving of a noble title, Inquisitor. You have my word. Now please, forgive my hastiness, but I must read Ellerly's words. Make her keep you.
Okay, that was easy enough. Now we just need to return to the Skyhold and speak with Josephine.
Inquisitor,
Hi.
What happened here?
the House of Repose decided to pay a visit.
Oh
The
god.
guards arrived in time, but I should have guessed the assassins would infiltrate the servants.
You alright, Josephine?
Are you sure they didn't hurt you?
They only frightened me. It was all so sudden. Leliana assigned people to shadow me. They appear to have saved my life. I owe you everything, Sergeant.
Only my duty, Ambassador. I'll talk with the spy master about these murderous louts. She'll find how they got in.
Oh god. See, this is making me think maybe we should have gone with Liliana's plan and gotten rid of this sooner. Thankfully, she at least assigned guards to Josephine, but good lord, not a good sign they can get in here. Tell you about what happened now.
Any news on the House of Repose, Inquisitor?
Well, what's our next move?
What's the next favor we need to get these Du Paraquets a lordship?
We need a judge of the royal court to procure documents acknowledging them as nobility again.
Okay. Now we have a new operation available. Well, I'll leave you guys to clean up this mess, I guess, and we'll head to the war table, where we can probably get a few different things started, seeing as we did collect our reports last time we were there. So let's go see. So much back and forth through the war table here today. So many things to do. Alright, so the new mission should be... Make sure to check the cones this time.
With rifts contained in the area, we can send in smaller groups to offer relief.
I agree. Are you well?
A headache, nothing more.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear Colin's just dealing with a headache. I do not see the Josephine mission, though. Oh, here it is. Getting a judge's favor, but we can't do it until Josephine is back from her mission. So that's fine. We will send out some others in the meantime. For example, we have a judgment here. The death of good Sir Ruth. The disgraced Grey Warden Sir Ruth wishes to make good on your judgment, Inquisitor. She has asked for assistance in reaching one of the deeper recesses of the Deep Roads, so that her premature calling might serve a greater good. Laudable, but any expedition to the Deep Roads comes with considerable risk. Okay. I'm gonna go with Liliana. She says, an escort is simple. I could also arrange to note her exact path should you wish to recover her body for any perceived honors.
Inquisitor.
Leave that in your hands,
Any what?
Liliana. That has a long
Nothing yet.
timer. 3.5 hours, so we can check in on that one. And then finally we have Measure Veil Strength. This is actually a quest from Solas. He says, Inquisitor, you've activated a number of the elven artifacts used to detect the magical energies of the Veil. Individually, such readings have been helpful. If we can coordinate measurements of all the artifacts simultaneously, however, I believe we may be able to uncover rifts that may not have even opened yet. I have drafted a proposal for how we might use Inquisition mages across Orlais and Ferelden to activate these artifacts in a coordinated fashion, if you think that it might be useful. So, we'll send Cullen out. Cullen says I can deploy soldiers with the mages to ensure their safety. Perfect.
Inquisitor,
Get your operation going. This one's going to take 16 hours. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we will not be checking in with any of our associates in today's episode, that's for sure. But one last thing I would like to do before we call it a day, seeing as we're already helping Solas. You guys remember previously, he actually gave us a quest. He gave us, let's see, which one is it? This one. All new, fated for her. One of Solas's old friends, a spirit, has been summoned against its will and needs his help. So Solas has asked us to go with him to the Exalted Plains and try to find his spirit friend. So, let's head there and see what we can do.
I have something for you, Commander. The soldiers the Herald rescued from the Fallermire arrived an hour ago.
Thank the Maker. We need good news.
That is good news. Now, I didn't realize that I didn't have the Exalted Plains unlocked yet. This is a brand new area, so before we can go there and help Solas, we actually need to scout it. So, this is Cullen, our spies looked into the breakdown of contact between the capital and Imperial Army forces in the Dales. Following the events in Halam Sharal, Val Royeaux should have received confirmation of withdrawal from battalions in the Exalted Plains. No such confirmation was received. The last communique from Gaspard's marshal reported a rash of desertions. After that, silence. I agree that this warrants further investigation. Do what you will, and my agents will lend support. From Liliana. So, Cullen says we can march soldiers into the Exalted Plains and position scouts in strategic areas. If lines of communication are down, we must be prepared for anything. We've established an outpost in the Exalted Plains. Lead Scout Harding is en route and awaiting further orders.
Inquisitor, welcome to the Exalted Plains, a place with a long and bloody history. Even now, the region is volatile. This was a front in the Civil War. Now there's rebels called the Freemen of the Dales, recently emerged and adding to the chaos.
Lovely. Tell me about this bloody history.
This is where the elves made their last stand, isn't it?
Ah, you've studied the Dales. Yes. When offered a chance to lay down their arms and surrender, they refused.
So, tell me about these Freemen of the Dales, then.
This rebel group. Tell me more about them.
They seem to be simple deserters, tired of fighting and dying for either the Empress or the Grand Duke. Now they want the Dales for their own. Worse, they're more organized than we anticipated. Be wary.
Great. Anything else?
What else can you tell me?
Scouts have sighted Dalish elves. There must be a clan camped somewhere on the plains.
Alright, thanks for the report.
That will be all. Thank you.
With the rifts and the undead, the Orlesians have lost ground. Most have been driven back to their forts. We have to stabilize the region, allowing the Imperial Army to re-establish its presence. Good luck, Your Worship. You'll need it.
Thanks, Harding. Alright, so this looks to be another very exciting place to explore. We look on our map here. Wow, it's really big. This is a really big area, much bigger than the Oasis area we were just at. I mean, there's clearly lots for us to do, deal with Venatori, blah, 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 but the first thing we're going to do is help out Solas, as I said, and looks like his friend here is to the west, so that's where we will be headed. Before we get started here, we actually unlocked a codex entry just by entering this area, so if you guys want a little history about the Dales, we can read some about it now, so here we go. There, see the Winter Palace at Halam Sharal. Gaze upon its white walls and golden spires, built on the broken dreams of a people, our people. The human prophet Andraste was a slave in the Tevinter Imperium, as our ancestors were. When she rose up against them, we rose up with her. Together we fought for freedom. In gratitude and kinship, Andraste promised the elves a new land, the Dales, and although she died, her sons kept her promise. Our people came from farthest Tevinter to claim this new land. Here, our journey ended. This was our Halam Sharal. As we laid the first stone for the city, our people vowed that no human would ever set foot on our lands. The greatest of our warriors swore to uphold this vow. One by one they came, invoking the names of Elgarnon and Mithal, Andruil and Gilnain. Before all our gods, they dedicated themselves to Halam Sharal, becoming our protectors, our Emerald Knights. They would ensure that the Dales remained free. It was free, for over 3 centuries. But the humans and their new Andrastian chantry would not let us be. They pushed against our borders. They sent missionaries to spread the word of their prophet. They sought ways to subjugate the people once more. When we refused, we angered them. They destroyed us. Even the Emerald Knights could not stand against the might of their army, armored in faith. In the name of their Andraste, they burned Talam Sharal, scattering us to the winds. They forgot that once. Long ago, Andraste's followers and the elves marched together. They forgot that Andraste called Shartan brother. That is a promise lost as told by Keeper Gisharel to the young hunters of the Ralafaran clan on the outskirts of Halam Sharal. It's a very sad story, and it just goes to show that with time, people forget their history and are doomed to repeat the mistakes of their past. Literally, the elves were on the side of Andraste. Andraste herself freed them and gave them their own lands, and then ironically, a couple hundred years after she was gone, the Chantry conveniently forgot that and decided to move in on the land. So the elves, they lost their original homeland and became Tevinter slaves. Then they lost their second homeland, the Dales. And now, well, you see the state of them. So, the elves, unfortunately, have had some really, really bad luck in Thedas, but hopefully maybe some things can change as we move forward, but you know, there's a lot of messes that we're trying to clean up right now, so we'll see. So our first freeman of the Dales here.
I wonder why.
I'd say it's a perfect reason to go to the ramparts.
Memorials of the Second Exalted March, the Path of Flame. Remember where Andraste's champions first set foot in the Exalted Plains, called Durthaverin by the elves. Halam Sharal's dark heart was conquered, but one last challenge came from the elves, who would not submit to the Maker. They gathered upon the plain. Our champions answered their call. Marching in Andraste's light on the Path of Flame, Lord Demetrius Aeron, Sister Amity, and Sir Brandis of Lac Celestine called the Silver Helm. They marched, destroyed this place. Very sad, honestly. There was a message on that guy's body. The Inquisition have arrived. They will take the Dales and say it is the herald of Andraste's right. There is no such right. These lands should be yours. We cannot allow the Inquisition to gain a foothold. As Orlay's true defenders, you know what to do. Gordian. Great! Sounds like they're very much determined to put a stop to us here. So, this should be interesting. You can very much see the remnants of how this was a front for the Civil War. Everything is still on fire. There's still equipment and everything here. You'd think they'd be tired of fighting by now. But apparently not tired enough to leave us alone. Oh good, we have undead here now too. Perfect. How many things can try to kill us in one go? That's the real question. What do we have here? Are you a friend or a foe? You seem to be a friend. What's up? Oh, careful! There's another zombie behind you! Dang, I was here. You had slow reflexes. Alright, Corporal. What's going on?
I must tend to our fallen.
What's going on?
What's happened here?
We were trying to retake the ramparts from the dead. They rise here, somewhere within these trenches. It started when those freemen showed up. Strange lights, like blue fire. It must be magic. But the freemen are just deserters from the armies. How could they have managed this? And why?
I don't know. Who are you?
Are you Imperial Army?
Yes, your worship. I fight on the side of Grand Duke Gaspard de Chalon, rightful Emperor of Olay.
I mean, hasn't the fighting stopped, though? I thought the war was over.
The Civil War is over. Why are you still here?
What? What do you mean it's over?
Nobody told him?
We need to alert the Marshal, but no one's been able to get into Fort Reverson for weeks.
Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, I'll see what I can do.
I should be going.
Can you imagine you're out fighting a war for some duke, and he doesn't even have the decency to tell you that the war is over? That's pretty brutal. Alright, we'll see if we can help them out while we're here as well. Oh, are these Dalish? Looks like it, because those are their little tent things. I need help? Do I? Oh, shit! Yeah, I need help! There's corpses! Dalish got good eyes. Phew. Alright. That it? Hi, thanks for the help. No? You don't want to chat? Oh. You want to chat now that you're on the ground?
The dead should stay dead, wouldn't you say, friend?
Agreed. Wow, I'm so much taller than him. What was all that?
Seems to be a lot of trouble in these parts.
That's putting it mildly. The war has stopped, but now the dead are walking. Funny though. I've been watching these undead and they seem focused on the Shem armies. As if, well, why wouldn't someone want to kill humans, huh? Still, poor fools.
I guess these Dalish freedom fighters, or whatever you want to call them, really did summon undead by the sounds of it. Who are you?
Are you a Dalish elf?
Of course, you would have little experience with the people. Yes, we are Dalish. We've been camped for weeks in the fields to the west. The war between the lions made passage through the dirt difficult. Damaged some of our arravals. If you find the clan, tell Keeper How and I'll continue the hunt. And perhaps find a safer route through the plains.
You're friendly for a Dalish.
I heard the Dalish were aloof and mistrustful of strangers. You seem different.
Don't tell the Keeper. I love my people, but they keep the old wounds raw. I don't know. Perhaps I feel it's just time to forgive.
Alright.
I must be going.
Very well. Be safe.
He was a nice fellow. Alright, we'll keep an eye out for the Dalish camp so we can report in. It looks like the Dalish, they're migratory people, of course, for anyone who needs a refresher. Ever since they lost their true homeland in the Dales, they just travel from place to place in these cool wagons. Set up camp in a place, stay there for a bit, and move on. So it looks like they got stuck here because they got caught up in the war, so I'm sure the Keeper will be interested to know that her people are okay. We've only been here in this new area for like a minute, and we're already picking up tons of quests, so we'll clearly have a lot to do in this area for a while. As I mentioned, I am going to continue heading west to help out Solas, first of all.
Thank you for this, Inquisitor. We are not far from where my friend was summoned.
Excellent, making all the rock climbing worth it. Alright, this must be it. Looks awfully magical.
My friend.
Oh no, your friend's a demon! They corrupted it.
The mages turned your friend into a demon.
Yes.
You said it was a spirit of wisdom, not a fighter.
A spirit becomes a demon when denied its original purpose.
So they summoned it for something so opposed to its own nature that it was corrupted. Fighting?
Oh. Aye.
Let us ask them.
A mage! You're not with the bandits? Do you have any lyrium potions? Most of us are exhausted. We've been fighting that demon.
You summoned that demon! Except it was a spirit of wisdom at the time. You made it kill! You twisted it against its purpose!
I understand how it might be confusing to someone who has not studied demons, but after you help us, I can...
We are not here to help you.
Solas is smarter than you are. He has done his research on demons.
Word of advice? I'd hold off on explaining how demons work to my friend here.
Listen to me. I was one of the foremost experts in the Kirkwall
Shut up. You summoned it to protect you from the bandits.
Yes.
You bound it to obedience, then commanded it to kill. That is when it turned. The summoning circle. We break it, we break the binding. No orders to kill, no conflict with its nature, no demon.
What? The binding is the only thing keeping the demon from killing us. Whatever it was before, it is a monster now.
Inquisitor, please!
I mean, I could break it.
I've studied rituals like this. I should be able to disrupt the binding quickly.
Thank you. We must hurry!
I mean, regardless of whether he turns back into a friendly spirit or not, I think he's gonna be angry with us anyway, so we may as well try to help Solas and try to turn him back into a helpful spirit. Worst comes to worst, we'll fight him, but we'll try the other option first, which is destroying these summoning stones. Well, you keep him busy while I target the stones. Ow. Well, you were supposed to keep him busy, man. Two left, come on. Ooh, he is angry. Let's hope this chills him out. One more. Alright. We did it. Hopefully this works. Hey, it did work! Perfect. So I guess she couldn't actually go back to the way she was. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Solas.
Don't be. We gave it a moment's peace before the end. That's more than it might have had. All that remains now is them.
Thank you. We would not have risked the summoning, but the roads are too dangerous to travel unprotected.
You tortured and killed my friend.
We didn't know it was just a spirit. The book said it could help us.
I mean, I don't think we should let Solas murder all these people. Yes, what they did was wrong, but I don't think they even knew what they were doing. So we were going to stop Solas from rampant bloodshed.
Solas.
Never again. I need some time alone. I will meet you back at Skyhold.
Hopefully they learned their lesson. And regardless, we helped the best we could. As Solas said, we gave the spirits some peace before they passed. And clearly, Solas is going to need some time to think, but luckily we need to travel all the way back from the Exalted Plains. So we will be back here to do all of these quests and explore this huge region. But for the last part of today's episode, I'm actually going to head back to Skyhold and we'll check in with Solas and see if he's ready to talk to us yet.
Inquisitor.
Are you back? No, I'll say you've returned, because he's clearly back. I have eyeballs.
Guess I owe Varric an ale. I wasn't sure you were coming back.
Neither was I for a time. But only a short time. You were a true friend. You did everything you could to help. I could hardly abandon you now.
Thank you. Where were you?
Where did you go?
I found a quiet spot and went to sleep. I visited the place in the Fade where my friend used to be. It's empty. But there are stirrings of energy in the void. Someday something new may grow there.
What is death like to spirits?
What happens when a spirit dies?
It isn't the same for mortals. The energy of spirits returns to the Fade. If the idea giving the spirit form is strong, or if the memory has shaped other spirits, it may someday rise again.
Well, that's great news. So it isn't really dead.
You're saying your friend might come back?
No, not really. A spirit's natural state is peaceful semi-existence. It is rare to be able to reflect reality. Something similar may reform one day, but it might have a different personality. It would likely not remember me. It would not be the friend I knew.
Well, I'm sorry, but like you said, I did all I could to help, and you can take some peace in that.
I'll let you get back to work.
All right. Thank you again.
Alright, so there you go, guys. Another companion quest completed. We've had a ton, obviously. We've been working towards helping out all of the Inner Circle. And now Solas's can be checked off the list. When we come back next time, we still have a ton of stuff to do. So you won't be bored, I promise. Hopefully I'll see you guys back here again real soon for another episode. Thank you all so much for watching.